Pain has a purpose, but only if you give it one. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who run from pain and those who rise because of it. The first group, they avoid it, they numb it, they pretend it's not there, they distract themselves with comfort, convenience, and short-term pleasure. But what they don't realize is this: every time you avoid the pain, you surrender a piece of your power. But the second group, the rare ones, they do something different. They lean in, they sit with it, they study it, they listen to what it's trying to teach them, and then they use it as fuel. Because deep down, they understand something the rest of the world forgets. Pain is not the enemy. In fact, pain might be your greatest gift if you have the courage to face it, to understand it, to transform it. Think of every great person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every legend. What do they all have in common? They suffered, but they didn't stop there. They used their suffering. They transmuted it into strength. They turned breakdowns into breakthroughs, wounds into wisdom, and pain into purpose. And if they can do it, so can you. But only if you develop one thing, one habit that changes everything. The habit of showing up anyway, no matter how you feel, no matter how dark it gets, no matter who doubts you, no matter what's been taken from you. You show up, you rise, you build, because your future doesn't respond to how you feel. It responds to what you do every single day. And when you decide to take your pain, not bury it, not hide it, but build with it, that's when everything starts to shift. But this isn't easy. It requires a complete rewiring of how you see the world, how you see yourself. It demands that you abandon the victim mindset and step into radical responsibility. Because here's the truth: your pain is not your fault, but your healing, that's your responsibility. No one's coming to save you. That sounds harsh, but it's also the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. Because if no one's coming, then you stop waiting. And once you stop waiting, you start creating momentum, creating discipline, creating change. And it all begins with that one habit, not motivation, not hype, not feeling like it, but the relentless decision to move forward, up, through, no matter what. You don't rise by wishing, you rise by working. Ask Thomas Edison. 10,000 failures, 10,000 rejections from reality itself. But he didn't stop. He showed up again and again, not because it was easy, but because he had a vision. Ask Oprah Winfrey. Abused, abandoned, broken as a child. But she didn't stay broken. She chose growth. She chose to build her own worth brick by brick, even when no one else believed in her. Ask Nelson Mandela, 27 years behind bars, and yet he emerged not bitter but brighter because his purpose was bigger than his pain. They transformed it, and so can you, but not by accident, only through intention, only through action, only through habit. The habit of showing up isn't glamorous. It won't get you applause. It doesn't post well on social media, but it builds empires, inside and out. It is forged in silence, in early mornings, in lonely nights, in doing the hard thing when no one is watching. And it starts with your mindset. See, the world has trained you to believe that success is about talent, about luck, about timing. But Napoleon Hill taught us differently. He said success is about definiteness of purpose, about burning desire, about a stubborn refusal to quit, and above all, about mastering your mind, because your mind is the battlefield. You either program it or it programs you. If you don't take control of your thoughts, they will control you. They will convince you to shrink. Do you have that level of grit? Do you have that kind of clarity? If not, develop it. Clarity doesn't come from sitting on a mountain and meditating for 40 days. It comes from movement, from taking action, failing, adjusting, and doing it again. Don't wait to feel confident. Confidence comes after the work. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. You don't get ready. You get started, and you become ready, day by day, step by step, habit by habit. Because success is not some massive, mythical breakthrough. It's not lightning in a bottle. It's doing the right thing. especially when it's hard over and over again. That's how wealth is built. That's how mastery is built. That's how character is built. And more than any strategy, that's what will separate you in this life. Your character, not your background, not your education, not your followers or your friends, but your integrity with yourself. Do you do what you say you'll do? Do you honor your word even when no one's watching? Do you follow through when the excitement wears off? Most don't. Most people live on emotion. They chase the high. They want shortcuts and secrets and 30-day transformations. But that's not mastery. That's addiction to instant gratification. You want to transform your pain? Then stop running, sit with it, study it, use it, because inside your deepest pain lives your deepest potential. But only if you have the courage to face it and the discipline to turn that courage into action. Discipline is the bridge between pain and purpose. It's the tool that turns chaos into clarity, fear into focus, wounds into weapons. Without discipline, pain consumes you. It becomes your identity. It traps you in cycles of self-sabotage, doubt, and delay. But with discipline, pain becomes your greatest power, because discipline isn't just about habits. It's about who you become by honoring them. Every time you wake up early when it's hard, every time you say no to distraction, every time you choose growth over comfort, you send a message to your subconscious, I'm in charge now. And that message compounds, it echoes through every decision you make. It becomes your identity, and soon you're not just doing the work, you are the work. You become the person who shows up no matter the pain, no matter the fear, no matter the past. Because here's the truth, your past is not your prison, it's your platform. It's not where your story ends, it's where your character begins. Every scar you carry, physical, emotional, mental, is not a sign of your weakness. It's a sign you survived. It's a sign you've lived. It's a reminder that even when life tried to bury you, you rose anyway. And that right there is your advantage. Because once you've been through real pain, nothing else scares you. Rejection? You've been through worse. Criticism doesn't even register. Failure? You've already tasted it and survived. So what's stopping you now? What excuse are you still clinging to? What lie have you told yourself? So many times you started to believe it, that you're not ready, that you're too broken, that someone else is more deserving. No, enough of that. You don't need permission. You need conviction. And conviction doesn't come from the outside. It's not given to you. It's not inherited. It's not downloaded in some online course. It's earned in the trenches of your own transformation by deciding that your pain wasn't pointless, by deciding that every loss, every setback, every lonely night wasn't for nothing, but for something greater. And that greater thing, that's your purpose. You don't find purpose. You forge it. You craft it moment by moment by turning your struggle into service, your hardship into hope, your wounds into wisdom for others. That's where fulfillment lives, not in applause, not in trophies, but in knowing that your existence is useful, not just to you, but to the world. And that is what turns ordinary people into legends. Legends are not born, they are forged in silence, in struggle, in solitude. Not when the world is cheering for them, but when the world is ignoring them, doubting them, laughing at them, because that's the test. Will you keep going even when no one sees you? Will you hold the vision even when the results haven't shown up yet? Will you stay disciplined even when motivation dies? If the answer is yes, if you commit to showing up anyway, that's when something incredible happens. You start becoming undeniable, not because you're the most talented, not because you have the most resources, but because you won't stop. You refuse to be broken by life. And that alone puts you in the top 1%. Because most people break, most people fold, most people quit when it gets hard, but not you, not anymore, because now you understand pain is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the training ground of champions. It's not there to crush you. It's there to condition you, to teach you what ease never could, how to rise without applause, how to believe without proof, how to endure without reward. Every struggle is shaping you. Every setback is sculpting you. Every failure is refining you into the version of you that's capable of holding your vision. This is why the habit matters. This is why showing up matters. Because every time you choose to take action, despite the pain, you are telling your future, I am ready. And that future begins to respond, not instantly, not always in ways you expect, but it listens. It listens to effort. It listens to resilience. It listens to faith in action. You can't just hope your way into a better life. You must build it, brick by brick, thought by thought, habit by habit. And the most important brick, how you show up when it hurts. Because that's the moment that defines you, not the day you won, the day you didn't give up. There's a day in your journey that will never make a highlight reel. No music, no lights, no audience, just you, tired, doubting, and maybe even afraid. And yet you showed up. You wrote the page. You ran the mile. You kept the promise. That day, not the ones where everything went right. That's the day you became powerful. Because power isn't loud. It's not a shout. It's not a victory speech. Real power is quiet consistency. It's the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path disappears beneath your feet. And it begins with a simple but revolutionary decision. To stop negotiating with your pain. Stop waiting for it to ease up. Stop needing life to be perfect before you act. Stop treating your feelings as facts. You can feel fear and still move. You can feel doubt and still choose. You can feel pain and still build. That's where purpose is born. In that friction, in that fire. You want to live a meaningful life? Then stop avoiding what makes it meaningful. Pain isn't the opposite of purpose. It's often the pathway to it. The most meaningful work in your life will come from the deepest wound. The most powerful stories you'll ever tell will come from the chapters you once wanted to tear out, but you kept going. You wrote those chapters anyway. You lived them, you bled through them, and now they mean something, because someone else is out there in the dark searching for light. And the courage you show today by facing your pain, by building through it, that courage might just be the light they find tomorrow. That's the truth about purpose. It's not selfish, it's service. And service begins the moment you stop asking, what do I get from this? And start asking, who can I become through this? You don't need a platform to make impact. You don't need millions of followers. You don't need permission. You need one habit. Show up anyway, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's how pain becomes power. That's how purpose is born. That's how you transform. Look back for a moment, not with regret, but with reverence. Everything you've survived, all the heartbreak, the loss, the failure, the confusion, it wasn't the end. It was initiation into a deeper level of strength, of maturity, of awareness. It was preparing you for the very thing you say you want, a life of impact, a life of meaning, a life of greatness. But you don't get to claim greatness without pain. You don't get to rise without resistance. You don't get to lead without first learning to bleed, because purpose doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for devotion, devotion to your vision, even when the path is unclear. Devotion to the work, even when no one is watching. Devotion to your evolution, even when it costs you everything you thought you were. You want to change your life? Then get devoted to the habit of becoming. Becoming disciplined when you've lived undisciplined. Becoming intentional when you've coasted through. Becoming powerful when the world told you to stay small. And how do you do that? You begin with the next decision. Not the next week, not the next year, not someday. The next moment. You take that pain, yes, the one you're carrying right now, and you ask it a question, what are you here to teach me? Then you listen. Then you build. Then you move, because clarity doesn't come before commitment. It comes through it. People wait for the fog to lift before they start walking. But life doesn't work like that. The fog lifts after your feet hit the ground. Faith before sight. Action before confidence. Obedience to the habit before evidence of the reward. This is the secret that separates the wishful from the warriors, the ones who talk about changing their life, and the ones who actually do it. You don't need another breakthrough. You don't need another guru. You don't need another moment of inspiration. You need one thing again and again, the habit of showing up anyway, because pain might visit you. But purpose will stay if you do. Let me be clear. This habit is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle, a daily declaration, a non-negotiable commitment. It's waking up before the world stirs. It's doing the work when your body begs for rest. It's choosing vision over comfort, grit over ease, and faith over fear. But there will be days when the weight feels unbearable, days when the voices in your head scream louder than your will to fight, days when you wonder if it's all worth it. Those are the test moments. The defining points where most quit, where dreams die, where hope fades into resignation. But not you. You will remember this truth. Pain is temporary. Purpose is eternal. That ache in your heart, the one that threatens to consume you, is the fire forging your legacy. You don't just endure pain, you transform it. Like a blacksmith turns raw ore into a shining sword, you turn your struggles into strength. You become sharper, stronger, unbreakable. This is the alchemy of life. The process that turns ordinary people into legends, the very process that built the likes of Abraham Lincoln, a man who failed again and again, yet persevered to lead a nation through its darkest hour, or Henry Ford, who faced bankruptcy multiple times before revolutionizing the automobile industry, or Walt Disney, who was told he lacked creativity but built an empire that inspires billions. Each one showed up. Each one committed to the habit. Each one transformed pain into purpose. And so will you, because this habit is more than a tool. It's your identity. Who you are is defined not by your comfort, but by your courage to face discomfort, not by your ease, but by your endurance through hardship, not by your success, but by your showing up when everything inside wants to quit. Now, close your eyes and imagine the life waiting for you on the other side of this habit, a life where pain no longer controls your decisions but fuels your progress, where fear becomes a whisper beneath your roar, where fear becomes a whisper beneath your roar, where every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. You see, when you commit to showing up, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary, you begin to rewrite your story. You step off the victim stage and claim the author's pen. You stop waiting for miracles and start becoming one. Your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance, from doubt to belief. You awaken the giant within, the unstoppable force that refuses to be defined by circumstance. This is the power of one habit that breaks chains, one habit that builds empires, one habit that turns pain into purpose. Because when you decide to show up, no matter what, you send a message to the universe: I am here. I am ready. I will not be denied. And the universe answers. Doors open. Opportunities multiply. Energy flows. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you become stronger, stronger in mind, stronger in heart, stronger in spirit. This strength is your true wealth. Not the money, not the fame, but the unshakable belief in yourself. The relentless discipline to do what others won't, the fierce courage to keep going when others quit. This is your moment, your call to arms, your invitation to greatness. Will you answer? Will you commit to this one habit? Will you show up even when it hurts? Because if you do, nothing can stop you. Nothing can hold you back. You will become the architect of your destiny, the warrior of your purpose, the master of your pain, and the world will watch and wonder how you transformed everything by simply choosing to show up. And now, hear this: showing up isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about flawless execution, but about unwavering commitment. It's about the courage to begin again after every fall. Every champion has stumbled. Every legend has faced doubt. Every empire has weathered storms. The difference is they refused to stop. They made a sacred pact with themselves. No matter what happens, I will rise. This pact is your secret weapon, your rise against the lies your mind tells you when pain becomes overwhelming. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself of this pact. Remind yourself of who you are becoming, because the habit of showing up transforms you from a victim into a victor, from a follower into a leader, from a dreamer into a doer. It's the force that moves mountains and changes destinies, and it's available to you right now. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need all the answers. You just need the decision to show up again and again and again, until the pain that once held you captive becomes the fuel that propels you forward, until your purpose is so clear, so compelling, that nothing, not fear, not doubt, not hardship can deter you. So start today, right now. Make that choice. Show up for yourself. Show up for your future. Show up for the legacy you're destined to create, because this habit, the one habit, will transform your pain into purpose, your struggle into strength, and your life into the masterpiece it was always meant to be. And that, my friend, is the power you hold. Understand this. Transformation is not a destination, but a journey. A relentless, often grueling journey that demands every ounce of your resolve. Napoleon Hill said it best. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. You will sweat, you will falter, you will question your path, but every step forward is a victory. Every moment you choose discipline over distraction, clarity over confusion, action over apathy, you are building an unbreakable foundation. Look at Thomas Edison, the man who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. What made him different was not genius alone, it was his refusal to quit, his unwavering commitment to showing up. Your story is no different. The pain you endure is your furnace. The habits you cultivate is your hammer. Your purpose is the masterpiece you are shaping. And in this process, you will learn to embrace discomfort as your ally rather than your enemy. You will stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a teacher. You will stop waiting for permission and start granting it to yourself. You will stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with the you of yesterday. This is self-mastery. This is the path of greatness. No one else can walk it for you. No shortcut can bypass it. It's a solitary climb, a test of will, a proving ground for your spirit. But when you reach the summit, when you stand tall on the other side of pain, the view will be worth every sacrifice. A life lived on purpose, a legacy that inspires, a power that nothing can diminish. And it all begins with the simple revolutionary habit of showing up. Imagine a sculptor with a rough block of marble. Each chip, each strike of the hammer reveals a little more of the masterpiece hidden within. Your pain is that marble, your habit, the sculptor's tool. Every day you choose to show up, you chip away at doubt, fear, and limitation. Every day you choose action over inertia, you reveal more of your true self. But this process demands patience. The sculpture does not reveal itself overnight. You must trust the unseen work beneath the surface, trust the slow burn of growth, trust the habit even when results are invisible. This is the invisible foundation of success. The world celebrates the finished statue, but few see the sweat, the blood, and the relentless effort beneath it. You are building something magnificent, your life, your legacy, but it requires faith in the unseen, faith in your daily actions, faith in your persistence, faith in your ability to transform pain into purpose, because pain will try to convince you it's permanent. It will whisper lies that you are broken beyond repair. But remember, diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is refined in fire. And you, your spirit, your will are stronger than any obstacle. This habit of showing up again and again is the fire that refines you. It is the pressure that shapes you. It is the force that reveals your greatness. No one else can do it for you. No one else can carry your pain or forge your purpose. That responsibility, that power belongs to you alone. So take it, own it, and transform. Now is the moment to awaken the power within you, the power that refuses to accept defeat, the power that refuses to be shaped by circumstance, but rather shapes circumstance itself. You have faced pain. You have endured hardship. You have wrestled with doubt. And now you stand on the threshold of transformation. But transformation isn't a gift. It's a choice to embrace the habit that turns obstacles into opportunities, a choice to rise each time you fall, a choice to build your life, not from luck or chance, but from relentless, unwavering dedication. Discipline is your bridge from pain to purpose. It's the engine that drives the habit. Without it, dreams remain wishes. Without it, vision remains a fantasy. But with it, mountains move. But the habit is stronger than failure. The habit is stronger than circumstance. The habit is stronger than pain. Choose the habit. Own your transformation and live the life only the persistent can claim. You've been hurt. You've been knocked down. You've felt the crushing weight of life's blows. But this isn't your end. This is your beginning. You stand now at the edge of a transformation so profound, it will rewrite your story forever. It begins with one habit, One simple, relentless habit that transforms pain into power and struggle into purpose. This habit is not a secret. It's not magic. It's the habit of showing up every day, no matter how you feel, no matter the odds, no matter the pain, when Thomas Edison said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up." He was speaking to this truth, the power to persist, to show up, to push forward when every fiber screams to quit. This is how legends are made, how empires rise, how ordinary lives become extraordinary. Pain is not a barrier. Pain is a gateway. When you decide to show up, even when it hurts, you tell your mind and soul this: you do not control me. I am the master of my destiny. This decision ignites a fire deep inside. It's the same fire that burned in Abraham Lincoln as he faced defeat after defeat before becoming one of history's greatest leaders. It's the same fire that powered Henry Ford through bankruptcy to revolutionize transportation. It's the fire that Walt Disney used to build a global empire despite countless setbacks. Pain becomes your fuel. Purpose becomes your compass, and the habit of showing up becomes your unstoppable engine. You see, purpose isn't something you find by avoiding pain. Purpose is forged in pain, in the grinding, the suffering, the resistance. It's a crucible that separates the dreamers from the doers. When you embrace pain, you transform it into your greatest strength. This is no motivational fluff. This is hard truth. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. When you cultivate the habit to show up every day, to face the storm with resolve, you step into your power. Discipline is your ally. Vision is your guide. Faith is your fuel. Every time you choose action over apathy, clarity over confusion, persistence over surrender, you take one more step toward the life you desire, the legacy you're destined to create. Remember, transformation is not instantaneous. It's a journey. A grind, a series of decisions made in the quiet moments no one sees. And that's where true greatness lives, in the unseen, uncelebrated grind of showing up when you have every excuse not to. Each struggle, each setback is not a sign to stop, but an invitation to grow, to build resilience, to rewrite your story. Pain will come, doubt will visit, fear will whisper lies. But when you live by the habit of showing up, you become unshakable. You become relentless. You become a force that no circumstance can defeat. This habit shapes identity. It sculpts character. It transforms your pain into purpose. So today, make a pact with yourself, a pact to show up, no matter what. Because when you do, you will move mountains. You will break chains. You will build a life of meaning, impact, and unstoppable power. Your legacy is waiting. The habit is simple. The choice is yours. Show up. Transform pain into purpose. Become unstoppable.